Hello, this is Angelo, and this is the fourth masterclass, the fourth episode of Finish Stronger Talents. Today's title is Believe It and Achieve It, simply because we will be focusing on virtually the only thing, the one thing that stands between us and our destination, and that is one or more limiting beliefs. Because beliefs are, as we will see later on, what governs our thinking, our acting, and what we perceive as reality. So, before we begin, as always, I want to thank you for being here and I want to congratulate you for being here. We are today at the 23rd day of Finish Stronger Challenge, and let me tell you, we are basically at 23% since this is a 100-day challenge, and already some people have, completely dismissed the idea of finishing stronger. I'm not talking about following, my content or anything like that. The idea of finishing stronger in 2023 and achieving something that matters this year and being fully ready, fully prepped for an amazing 2024, because this is all that matters. You may find truly the mentors that you believe are a better fit for you. But what I truly care about is that you see your super self in the mirror by the end of the year. This is all that matters to me. This is why I am doing this. Now, before we begin, you want to switch off your phone and any other distraction and basically close your eyes and ears to everything but what we will be discussing here today. Especially today, I believe this is the most important masterclass of all from all the 15 Finish Stronger masterclasses that we will be doing together, because from my experience, this is always the bottleneck, a limiting belief, which is so sneaky that you perceive as your reality, and now you are, let's say, you feel captive of circumstances instead of in charge of your destiny. So this is how important it is to be fully focused today. So for the next 30 to 45 minutes, in the world, in this whole world, it's only you and me. And we will be talking on how you will upgrade to your beliefs to the point that you can actually see your super self in the mirror and your super life before your very eyes. You're more than welcome to take notes. Always note keeping helps you to imprint your best insights to your subconscious, but always remember that you have access to the replay to go over it again and again if you feel that it is best for you to be present right now and keep some notes later on. Last but not least, I want to remind you that we have passed the point of no return, and from now on, there is only one destination, only one outcome: you reaching your ideal destination, you achieving your super life. Now, our Finish Stronger journey continues. Last week, we talked about your number one priority, your top priority, the thing that matters to you the most, and the thing that will crowd out everything else from now until the end of the year, because not only you want to achieve it, but because you want to challenge your methodology, your beliefs, your strategy, and everything it takes to achieve something. Because if you have a lot of balls going on, you may be doing a lot of stuff during the day, but it is very hard for you to pinpoint what works and what doesn't. This is why you choose one priority and you focus on that. And not only that, it has to be so clear and so compelling that it magnetizes your consciousness and it makes it quite easy for you to focus. The jump off bed exercise that we mentioned during the week, where as you wake up, you make sure that this is so powerful, this one priority is so powerful that makes you jump out of bed and storm through your day, taking high value, effective actions and making sure you get much closer to your destination by the time you go to sleep at night. This week, we will be focusing on beliefs. Believe it and achieve it, because this is the only thing that stands between you and your destination, believe it or not. Now, the question that I always ask you on all these masterclasses, and the question that you want to be asking yourself many times during the day: how do I feel? And why am I asking you this? Simply because every change, small or big, requires energy. If you want to go from point A to point B, you need energy. This is all you need. Now, the higher your emotional state, the better you feel, the more energy you have. This is why you want to be asking yourself during the day, how do I feel? Taking, like a mark at any point during the day. Am I happy and unstoppable? If not, I will stop what I'm doing and go through the exercises of perspective, forgiveness, love, gratitude, and happy landing in order to upgrade my emotional state. It shouldn't take you more than a couple of minutes anyway. If you truly train yourself to do this, this is how long it takes to put yourself on peak state again. And from that point, you will find yourself that you can achieve so much more. Now, because this is so important, I want to open up your perspective to a different way of approaching this and seeing this chart from 0 to 1000. So if you noticed, about 350 is what we call acceptance. And what truly matters for me is to see acceptance as the minimum level you are. Because after you accept your current reality as your starting point, and also after you accept your infinite potential and your untapped inner power, this is when and where you can start achieving more. So let me ask you this. If truly acceptance is like the point that you float in the water, right? And any emotion under that is basically as if you're underwater. So let me ask you now, how long can you stand or withstand without oxygen underwater, right? How long can you hold your breath underwater? Is it like 1 minute? 2? Maybe you're doing the Wim Hof exercises like I do, and it's like 3 or 4 minutes long. But that's about it, right? Or maybe you're a master diver or something, and you can hold your breath for 5 or 6 minutes, and that's about it. Same goes with low key, low vibrations, low emotions. This is why you've probably heard before that about 90, if not 99% of visits to the doctor have to do with stress or any other low value, low key emotional state. Hold that thought. Now that you know this, how much more do you care to be above the surface, right? And being able to breathe as much as you want and breathe in energy so that you actually are strong enough and focused enough to achieve what you want. This is how important it is for you to be at your best, to feel your best before you do anything else. It is a being challenge, not a having or doing challenge. When you are well, you will do well, and when you do well, you will achieve amazing results. That's about it. Now, in the previous week, we said that the desire doesn't have to be important. It has to be important to you. And I challenge you to make sure that you're not after some kind of, like a capricious desire that you got from Instagram or something. It is something that you truly care about. It might mean nothing to most people, but it means a lot to you. So this week, similarly, I want to tell you this. Your beliefs are not necessarily reality, but they are reality to you. Meaning that your beliefs are what you perceive as your reality. End of story. We cannot escape our beliefs. We cannot escape our beliefs as fish cannot escape water. This is how ubiquitous our beliefs are in our lives, and this is how important it is to have beliefs that can actually support our dreams and can help us turn our dreams into a reality. Because our beliefs will always be like a block towards any other achievement greater than what we've achieved up until now. Now, there is a very popular discussion. Is the earth flat or not? And my challenge to you is not to accept this question and, like bother yourself for the rest of the day or the rest of your life, whether earth is flat or not. This is not the problem. The problem is that for those who believe that the earth is flat, this is their reality, this is what their beliefs dictate, and they will find themselves focusing on everything that supports that statement. Whereas when you believe that the earth is like basically an egg rotating around its axis and then revolving around the sun, then you will find more evidence that supports that belief. All that matters to you is that you are right and I am right, even if we disagree, simply because my belief is what I perceive as my reality, and your beliefs are what you perceive as your reality. So it's not about having a debate. It's about whether your beliefs are supporting what you want to achieve or not. Take another example. What about teams, right? If you ask the fans of one team and the fans of the other team, their answer on which team is best will differ. Same goes with parties, and if you don't know what you're looking at right now, this is the Greek Parliament, and of course, you most probably know that Greece is like the mother place of democracy. And let me tell you, among the 300 members of Greek Parliament, okay, there is a lot of disagreement. Who is right? It doesn't matter, because everyone has a different perspective and everyone has a different belief system. And this is where disagreement happens. What matters again is the current state, my current belief. Like, I have a box full of beliefs. I have the Angelo OS, like my operating system, and it is full of beliefs, right? Are these beliefs taking me where I want to go, or they are keeping me stuck where I am right now? This is all that matters. Let's take a song or a group, okay? Again, is it a nice song? Is it a group, like that everyone likes? No, there isn't such a thing. Even the most popular groups have like millions of haters. Why? Because they have a different belief as to what good music is and all these things. So, again, your beliefs are not necessarily reality, but they are your reality. They are reality to you. And why is this important? Because they govern your thoughts, your actions, and filter your consciousness, meaning that you will not be able to see things that are actually there, that are actually happening, simply because your beliefs block these perceptions. Let me give you an example. If you don't know by now, I studied mechanical engineering in Manchester, and I was there from basically 94 to 98. And in the year of 95, my second year on my bachelor's degree, I was in a rather iffy, let's say, area. It was an area which is very popular, for like thefts and everything, and burglaries, of course. And now, Why am I telling you this? Let's take an imaginary walk around like the house that I was occupying back then with my friends. And I'm, like showing you the neighborhood that I spent a year there. And imagine that I'm telling you now that, you know what? This is a rather scary neighborhood. Many things are going on around here. I'm not telling you that you are unsafe, but basically, you know what? You're kind of unsafe. And now, what is going on? Now, your consciousness is occupied with this thought. And because I've been there, I spent a year there, and it was like 25 years ago. And now you're thinking, whoa, Angelo is right. I saw this guy, which he had kind of a threatening look, and this and that and the other. Maybe you hear sounds now. And as you are thinking now these thoughts, your ideal car, the one that you have like as your number one priority, and this is your goal for 2023, to get that car before the end of the year as a bonus to your achievement, to your financial achievement with your business, passes by and you don't even notice it. Because now you are in a kind of alarm mode and you're looking all around and you're making sure that you're safe just because I shifted your perspective, I shifted your attention, and I interfered with your belief system. And now everything changed for you. This is how, like truly in a heartbeat, your beliefs can be changed. Hold that thought. Now, why there is a huge problem with the beliefs that we have? Because we always have to be right. We must be right. And there is a very important reason. Our fears make us want to be right. Meaning, let's just say that, like you're sitting or standing on at the edge of a cliff. You have to be right? I mean, if you are 1 foot away from the edge of the cliff, you want to know. You don't want your senses to tell you that it is 3 feet when it is 1 feet. Because if you take 1 step forward, you will fall and you will die. And which is our number one desire if we don't do anything about it? Survival. And your survival, your need to survive, your desire to survive challenges every other belief that you have and shifts your attention towards being right. So back in 2010 or something like that, I was at a seminar and T. Harv Eker said, I don't want to be right. I want to be rich. Now say that with me. I don't want to be right. I want to be rich. I don't want to be right. I want to be healthy. I don't want to be right. I want to have healthy, meaningful relationships with people that I love. Now, what just happened? You shifted your fundamental desire to survive towards your individualized desires and what you want most for your life. Because we humans are the only species on Earth who can choose between the path of least resistance that everyone else chooses by default to the path of most growth. And why is this important? Because this is how you achieve what you want. You want to tap into your operating system and say, no more survival stuff. Okay? I am not right. Most probably 99.9% right now, you're not in the middle of the jungle surrounded by tigers watching this webinar. Most probably you are at the comfort of your home or the office and you're watching this webinar, meaning you have internet, you have a device at least, and survival stuff are taken care of basically. So why have this stress level tapping into our belief system and messing up our plans to achieve what we truly want and we truly deserve? So the question now is, how certain is it that people can change? Can people change? Or is it like a theoretical thing for some personal development gurus to sell books and event tickets? Are beliefs changeable in the first place? Can people actually change? The best example I can give you is myself, of course, is me. And if we go back about 20 years, not actually 19 years, if we go back 19 years, we will see another version of Angelo. And this is me back then. I was smoking every day. I was drinking almost every day simply because I was going out almost every day. And one of my fundamental beliefs, something that you will surely hear me talking about quite frequently actually, is I don't understand why I should walk if I don't have somewhere to go. Meaning I had no intention whatsoever to exercise, to focus on my fitness levels, on my vitality levels, my vibrancy levels, and so on and so forth. Now, this was, of course, before I started my own business, and a couple of years later, and from that day and on, my belief system completely changed. And now I will tell you, I don't understand why I should not walk, swim, play, and exercise and do amazing things that raise my vibrancy and vitality levels as much as possible. And of course, I haven't smoked since the day I gave up, which was, I think, about 19 years ago, a single cigarette. And the way I did it, because many times people who do smoke, they have like truly limiting beliefs and they say, I've been smoking for like decades. I cannot give up smoking. Or I am afraid of giving up smoking because people, when people give up smoking, they gain like a ton of weight. I gave up smoking in a heartbeat, and actually I lost a bit of weight because I started exercising as well after giving up smoking, which of course was exercising was fun, right? Because I wasn't losing my breath as I would if I kept smoking. So when I gave up smoking in a heartbeat, I did it simply by saying, by the way, full disclosure, I had no idea what personal development meant back then when I gave up smoking in a heartbeat. I just said it was like an impulse. And I said, now I want to enjoy the positives, like the good things of not smoking rather than the good things of smoking, because I was a fan of smoking. I wasn't one of those people who was smoking and was saying to myself, what am I doing here? Why am I doing this terrible habit? No, I was actually enjoying smoking. And I just said, you know what? Now I want to enjoy not smoking. That was it. Why am I telling you this? Because if I can change, you can change. And if you can change to the point that you see yourself, the version of you in the mirror that can actually turn your number one priority, what you have as your destination for your Finish Stronger challenge, into a reality. This is what happened back in 1954. When Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile. The 4-minute mile is an example in so many presentations, in so many personal development presentations, because it is so powerful. Before that, scientists were actually saying that it is physically impossible for humans to run a mile in under 4 minutes. There were proof, basically. But when it happened for the very first time, then even college students could run a mile in under 4 minutes, because now there is a precedent. And that precedent shifted everyone else's beliefs. Now, this is good news, right? Because when something like a success level happens, it means that you can replicate that success. But you don't want that as a way to go about it, because you might have to wait a long time. As you want to be Roger Bannister, you want to update your beliefs before you see it happening. After seeing it happening, it's too late. Or you might have to wait for a very, very long time. So, if you want to put your hands on the wheel of your mind, and you want to put your hands on the wheel of your habits and start turning your vision into a reality consciously, deliberately, and with the pace that fits your model and your plan for your life, you want to upgrade your beliefs. When? Now. That's right. Okay, all these examples are good, they are valid. I agree with you, Angelo, but what about someone who has an incurable disease? What about these examples? Really good thought. Really good question. Let me tell you though, there are people right now who are living even though they had an incurable disease a few years or a few decades back, and something changed. Every day, there are cases of people who have actually survived what once was an incurable disease, because now it has become curable. And now your belief system might trigger another objection. Oh, I know, Angelo, I know why this is the case, because technology has evolved, right? And this is why the incurable disease became curable. Well, even though what you are saying is right, what preceded that evolution in technology? A belief that a scientist or a business owner had. There was at least one person on earth who said, you know what? I don't accept this as the ultimate level that humanity will reach. I will not accept this disease as an incurable disease. There must be a way. And then, of course, they sat down maybe on his own or her own, or maybe with a team of people, and they sat down and they said, what can we do about that? How can we upgrade what is possible for humanity? And then a few weeks, a few months, a few years later, that incurable disease became curable. This impossible dream became possible. This bridge that couldn't be built was built. This thing that couldn't fly did fly, and now we're flying all over the place. There are about 104,000 flights every single day, even though just a century and a bit more ago, people said we cannot fly. Can you imagine what else your mind is prohibiting you from achieving right now, simply because you have not challenged at least one of your limiting beliefs? Now, what do we know by now is that beliefs can change, right? And since beliefs can change, beliefs can be upgraded, because you can lower your beliefs. If you allow life to happen, you might even have a more limiting belief upgrade your limiting belief. As Tony Robbins says, change is automatic. Progress is reserved for those who take the journey, basically. Progress has to do with your part, with your decision making, where you put your focusing on what you're accepting as your reality and how much work you put on you to upgrade your thoughts and your actions. So, how do you actually make the impossible possible? How do you turn something that is perceived as impossible by you right now to possible? And I use the word impossible because it is flashy, but I'm even talking about something that you consider, like really, really hard to achieve. So, what is happening basically from the moment we appear on this earth plane is that our consciousness evolves. And basically, this is the realm of infinite possibility, and our consciousness is reserved to a small level of understanding, knowledge, and so on, and experiences, of course. And then our consciousness grows, and then our consciousness grows a bit more, and then our consciousness grows even more, and now we're about 3rd of October 2023. And our consciousness is that big, but what we want to achieve and our number one priority for 2023 is out of the bounds of our consciousness of what we perceive as possible. And now, what needs to happen for us to achieve that goal? What needs to happen for us to reach our destination by the end of the year and look ourselves in the mirror and say, yes, you know what? I did finish stronger. I did achieve my goal, and I did set myself with like the perfect circumstances and the best foundation for an amazing 2024. All you have to do basically is to grow your consciousness level to the point that this is possible. All you need to do is to grow your consciousness to the point that the solution is included. And you say, you know what? I know exactly what to do to make this happen. Now I know. Now I believe it is possible because I know how to do it. And this is why, if you follow me for a long time, you know that I have introduced many years ago 2 new words into our reality, what I call impossible and outpossible. And impossible is everything that you consider as possible right now, and outpossible is everything else. Outpossible, what does outpossible mean? It means that it cannot be done yet. But I know that the moment I raise my consciousness to a higher level, that the solution to the problem that I have right now is included in my consciousness, it will become impossible. I-N. Meaning now I know how to do it. This is all it takes. This is all that has been happening throughout the ages. Things were impossible simply because consciousness has not raised itself, like collective consciousness, to the point that the solution is included. Now, how do you do what I call a belief booster, where you upgrade your beliefs? So imagine yourself right now that you put your finger in an amazing machine and you start upgrading, boosting your beliefs to the point that you can turn your vision into a reality, to the point that you can look yourself in the mirror and feel absolutely confident that by the end of the year, this destination will be reached, this goal will be achieved. Number one, it is acceptance. And where most people use acceptance in a very wrong way, meaning that they accept their current reality because this is where their beliefs lead them. They accept their current reality as their destination. And they say, you know what? It is done. This is how far I can go in life. This level of income, this is it for me. Or this relationship is broken now. It cannot be fixed. Or I lost my health in this specific way, and there's nothing you can do about it. And again, Many things are still what we call incurable in terms of health or relationships or even finances and business. But you know what? Did you even try, or you just accepted it as your reality because your beliefs dictate so? Huge difference as to what you can achieve. So you want to accept your current reality simply as your starting point, as your point A that your GPS uses in order to chart a course towards where you want to go. And accepting where you are as your starting point, as I always like to say, is the one side of the coin of acceptance. The other side is to accept your infinite potential. The other side of the coin is to accept that you have so much latent inner power that you can not only achieve what you want to achieve this year, but go very, very far with your life and your business if you let it. This is how powerful acceptance can be for you. Number two, hope. You don't believe yet, but now there is some kind of hope, right? Because you keep like hearing things and seeing things that, like what we call the underdog achievement, and things even from a movie, like you see something like a complete turnaround in life or business or in sports, and you say, you know what, maybe I can do something like that. Maybe I can turn my life around, or my business around, or my relationship around. And now you're on track, because now you have already sailed from your point A. You have already left from the point that you said, you know what, something needs to change, and something needs to change right now. And of course, the next level is belief. Now you believe that it is possible. And once you start believing it is possible, simply because your beliefs tend to validate themselves, you will start seeing developments that validate that belief. So you will meet some people that are a perfect fit for what you want to achieve. And you will bump into webinars out of nowhere that are a perfect fit, and they give answers to what you want to achieve again. And now you're in what we call flow. Now everything is like the whole universe basically is conspiring for you to achieve your goal, to reach your destination. And of course, the last stage is demonstration, where everyone else sees what you believed as possible and nobody else did, basically. This is all it takes. This is all it takes. So you begin from what you have, you start just by hoping for a better tomorrow, basically, because still your emotional state cannot support more than that. And then with all the exercises that I have already given you, you start upgrading that hope into a belief, into a firm belief, and then you start seeing more ways to make that happen. And at the end of the day, you demonstrate your success, because now it is not only a matter of theory whether this can happen or not. It is something that you took action and you turn your vision into a reality. Which are the steps to get there, though? How are you going to actually boost your beliefs and upgrade your beliefs? Number one, you will make a list, and now invest 2 weeks or 10x your attention right now. These are the steps that you will be taking as your exercise, right? For the next week. This is your homework, basically. Make a list of all your limiting beliefs. And all you have to do is simply to answer this question or fill in the blanks in the following sentence. I cannot yet achieve blank because blank. I cannot yet achieve a profit, a net profit of $1 million per year because 1, 2, 3. And you will find one or more limiting beliefs. And let me tell you, I thought I had a very demanding project, and I did the belief booster exercise, and I thought I had like a couple of limiting beliefs keep like truly blocking me from succeeding, and I found 14, 1-4. So I had to work on 14 beliefs that I had to upgrade before I liberated myself and I start being able to operate at a higher level. This is how important this exercise is, because until you do so, you will always find yourself, like blocked from solutions and things that are actually there to help you achieve what you want, but you won't be able to perceive them as part of your reality. Number 2, break the limiting belief with an irrefutable common belief, something that nobody can say, you know what you're talking is nonsense, right? So this is how important that step is. You break immediately that limiting belief. For example, you might say, I have a list of like 100 people. How on earth can I make $1 million by the end of the year? And you might say, you know what? Every single mentor of mine who did 7 figures, they did start with the same number of people that I started, 0. And they started upgrading their traffic and their conversions and their email list and all these things. They had to improve and upgrade until they reached that level of success. And not only that, I can also give you examples that have happened, right? Not something that is out of my imagination. In the past, it would take like decades for a business to reach the $1 billion level. Now it takes just a few months. Are you actually telling me that if businesses can upgrade themselves from 0 net worth to at least 1 billion and become a unicorn, you cannot achieve a million level? No, you can. It is only a matter of upgrading something that it is between you and your destination, and that is your belief system. Next, write the new empowering belief, and it doesn't have to be like an explosive new belief. It has to be enough to get you where you want to go. Because by definition, every belief is a limiting belief. But if you want to achieve $1 million by the end of the year in revenue or in profit, you will not start building the belief that you are a trillionaire or something. This is too much. The journey to believe that is much greater than what you need to actually do in order to achieve your goal, in order to reach your destination. And the last step is to write, how does it feel having, now that you have the new upgraded belief? So it is in present tense, as if you're doing a happy landing exercise. It is in present tense. And you say, now that I have this belief, I feel what? I feel empowered. I feel righteous. I feel strong. I feel unstoppable. I feel self-reliant. I feel I have all it takes to achieve what I want. And you actually allow these feelings to permeate your body and to actually start vibrating from this level and looking around what is happening when you operate from that level. It's a completely different state of being, a completely different state of operating. Last but not least, 3 secrets, the way that belief boosting actually happens. Number 1, emotional intensity. This is why I made this when I mentioned before that you want to feel these feelings. You want to actually amplify these feelings. Every feeling has a certain frequency, right? We talked about this in the previous masterclass. Now, this frequency also has an amplitude, right? It is as if you have a certain song play and then you raise the volume. And the more you raise the volume, the louder it becomes. The louder the song becomes in your ears. Imagine your emotional positivity and your conviction that you can actually, and you will actually, and you have actually on a mental and emotional level, achieved your destination, reached your destination and achieved your goal, this amplified by 10, amplified by 10 again, because now you know that distinct frequency, and all you have to do is elevate this emotional state, elevate this frequency to the point that every single cell of your being resonates from that frequency. Then, of course, you have repetition. And when I got started, basically, I believe I didn't know it back then, but when I got started with my daily thoughts of inspiration back in January 1st, 2015, I know now that I was my first student. I was doing it for Angelo. I was doing it for sloppy Angelo, who was like truly expecting, like hoping and wishing for something better, but didn't have a way to go about it. So back then, I started finishing every single daily thought of inspiration, every single email, every single day with the same punchline that most probably you know by heart by now, you too as well. You deserve everything you want, and we all deserve your best self. And of course, I was saying these words to Angelo, to Sloppy Angelo, helping Sloppy Angelo become Super Angelo. In the same manner, back then, these words may have been perceived as lies to my consciousness, but day after day, they have become my truth. This is how important repetition is. In the beginning, there will be resistance because you're going against the current, you're going against your belief system. But beliefs can change, beliefs can be upgraded, and the two keys are emotional intensity and repetition. And there is another secret, a very important one, especially when you have limiting beliefs that have been totally non-supportive and building up momentum over weeks, years or decades. And that is the phrase, I allow. So instead of saying, you know what, I am unstoppable, you can say, I allow myself to be unstoppable. Instead of saying, I have perfect mental, emotional, and physical health, and you say, who am I kidding, right? You want to say, I allow myself to have perfect mental, emotional, and physical health. It's more accessible now. And this is where you begin when the going gets tough with upgrading your beliefs. You just start by saying, I allow this, I allow that. I know it is the way to go. I know that this belief needs to be a part of my operating system if I am to achieve that goal. So instead of trying to go against the current and banging yourself through a wall that cannot break because you built such a momentum, you just say, I allow. I allow myself to be unstoppable. I allow myself to be more effective, more productive, to manage my attention more and better, and so on. Now, as we wrap up, your homework for this week. Number one, and this is something that you definitely want to do, is go through your belief booster exercise. So put your mind, put your attention at your destination, at your number one priority, and ask yourself, why can I not get there yet? Why can I not see myself there yet? What is in the way? Which beliefs are actually the way? And start jotting down these beliefs, start breaking each one and challenging each one with a common serving belief, and then replace the limiting belief with a new belief, and last but not least, write down for each belief, how does it feel now that you have the new empowering belief. Number two, I want you to play 100% at all the belief boosting exercises that we will be doing throughout the week at the dedicated Facebook group. And of course, number three, I want you to upgrade your game, your engagement with the group. Meaning, if you have questions that I'm sure you have that have not yet been answered. Ask them. Post a question and help us give you more dedicated content the weeks ahead. Number two, if you have a win, and it doesn't have to happen through what we're talking about here, but this is a win that you want to celebrate and share with others and inspire others with your win. Share it so that everyone else can feel your gratitude and your enthusiasm, because the more the energy of the group grows, the better for everyone it is to elevate their energy and keep their energy at a high level and achieve their number one priority for Finish Stronger Challenge. And last but not least, if there is someone who still needs some kind of support to achieve their goals, maybe they're struggling with their health, their finances, or a relationship they have, this is the best way to upgrade the engagement and invite them in this group so that we collectively can achieve our dreams and turn them into a reality by the end of the year. This is what the Finish Stronger Challenge is all about. So, I said in the beginning that this is, to me, the most important masterclass of all. But what I actually mean is that from this point and on is where all the reprogramming happens. By now, I am almost certain that I have convinced you that your beliefs, your current belief system, is what stands between where you are and where you want to go, and upgrading that belief system is the number one priority in order to turn your vision into a reality. I'm so grateful for your attention and your participation. We will be talking to each other and engaging throughout the week in the dedicated Facebook group. And of course, I will see you next Tuesday with masterclass number 5 of Finish Stronger Challenge. See you next week. Ciao, ciao.